Well, the good news is the Rams' best football is still in front of them.
It's hot out there, but let's blow them off the line of scrimmage.
Live from the Ram Cave, this is RamView wrap-up against the San Francisco 49ers for Week 5. Rams fall to the 49ers in overtime 26-23. And honestly, sounds like heresy. By halftime, I wanted the Rams to lose this game. I really did. When they went down 20-7, I wanted them to lose this game. When they biffed it at the start of the third quarter, I really wanted them to lose this game. They need to suffer some pain. In fact, I was kind of hoping Frisco would have made it 31-7 after a while. This is a great Rams team. This is a really talented Rams team. But the fact that they allowed Frisco to stay in this game shows this team's not ready to win. It needs its butt kicked. It needs its nose bloodied. And obviously what happened in Philadelphia wasn't enough to scare them straight. And so this was a good thing. Honestly, it's always tough to see the Rams lose to 49ers. But yeah, good. Suffer the humiliation of Frisco coming into SoFi, having a red wave in there, having it so loud it's like it's a road game. Okay, great. Now you could feel some humiliation, and I really think they should. Rams should feel horrible humiliation. We said the 49ers had no chance to win this game, and they didn't unless the Rams lost it, and that's exactly what the Rams did. Let's get into a couple things. I'm just going to look at my notes here. My first one is, when does Matthew Stafford get entered into the MVP discussion, right? When does he get entered into the MVP discussion? His kicking game is a circus, right? His kicking game is a circus. His running backs can't hold on to the ball, whether catching or running. And his offensive line tonight was 3 undrafted free agents, a pick swap right guard who's done a great job in Kevin Dotson, and a 5th rounder in Warren McClendon. And yet the defense can't stop anybody, but Matthew Stafford keeps the Rams in the game. Right? When does he get MVP consideration? Right? Another thought that came to mind here was, I said it, and I'll admit I was wrong. I was absolutely wrong. I said Kyren Williams would not have a fumbling problem this year. For 4 weeks, he didn't. But in the biggest game, the most important game, at the most important moment, he coughed that mother up, right? My bad. Note to Kyren, less high stepping, more ball security, right? More ball security, Kyren, especially when it matters. Another thought here. Tutu Atwell makes plays and has hands, right? Tutu Atwell can play, but Blake Corum apparently can't catch a cold these days. So I was watching this game at the start, and I was making notes when the game started. I said, man, any team coming out of the locker room dancing to a boombox like the 49ers were before playing their rivals is not taking things seriously. And maybe they weren't, but they were loose. They were loose, and they came out and they played. Full credit. You know, I take a lot of shots at Kyle Shanahan, but they're mostly because he can't hold on to a Super Bowl victory, right? But, yeah, he just I'm not even going to say he out-coached McVay. His team outplayed McVay's team, and he used his schemes to do it, and it was a great job. He did a great job, so full credit to them. For as well as the Rams defense kind of came alive a little bit. No pressure at all until the end on Mac Jones. Yeah, I have no problem with Mac Jones. I had Steeler fan Rob text me and say, I told you Mac Jones was good. Of course, Mac Jones was so good, the Steelers didn't make a move for him, right? Mac Jones is a good quarterback, right? I mean, every time he was making a completion, I thought, boy, Belichick's looking dumber and dumber and dumber by the moment for the way they treated this kid in New England. Also, Mac Jones seems to have this parallel path that Sam Darnold took, right? Darnold was in the Northeast with the Jets, went south and down along the coast to Carolina, and then came and did a year on the bench with the 49ers behind Brock Purdy. Mac Jones in the Northeast with Boston, comes down along the Atlantic coast, spends a year in Jacksonville, and now has come west to play behind Brock Purdy, and instead he's playing. It's going to be really interesting with Brock Purdy making 50 rocks. Mac Jones could be a quarterback that fetches some draft capital for them. He's under contract for another year, and he showed you don't put any pressure on him. And the Rams have, I think about this too, no pressure against that offensive line. What a joke. What a joke. Utter humiliation. Please be humiliated. Did you see Christian McCaffrey's touchdown catch? Did you see who had him in coverage? Yeah, Troy Reader. I don't care if they flashed out of a short yardage set. Troy Reader being on the field at all is despicable, right? Yeah, I'm done. Note to Rams, I like Justin Dedick. I think he's a good story, not a great story as a UDFA, but he's not my choice for a long-term solution at left guard. Not that he played horrible today, but I'm beginning to think Steve Avila isn't the solution any longer. Avila was out there for PATs. In fact, Avila was on the PAT that got blocked. I don't know if it was on him, but Avila was out there. This guy can't get in front of Justin Dedick. If he's well enough to suit up, how come he's not starting? Since appearing in 17 games as a rookie, Avila has only played in 11 of the last 22. There you go. So this does not look like a Super Bowl offensive line, even though Warren McClendon wasn't horrible. Dedick wasn't horrible. Shelton wasn't horrible. We said if Matthew Stafford could stay upright, because they're not going to get a pass rush on him, he's going to pick them apart. And sure enough, Matthew Stafford did his job. So again, I asked, when is Matthew Stafford going to be in the MVP race? When the Rams end up peeling off 7 wins in a row, everything comes back down to earth, and things will settle down. We have to trust McSnead. There's no reason not to trust the Rams. This isn't a collapse. This is one of those typical pre-Matthew Stafford, right? 2021 going on back embarrassments that the Rams had against the 49ers. Backup quarterback embarrassing the Rams, playing for the 49ers. The Rams are going to right this ship. Not any problem there. Yeah, think about this. The Rams went 0 for 3. Actually, they were 0 for November in 2021. Remember, they were humiliated at home by Mike Vrabel and the Tennessee Titans, right? Then they went to Frisco and got whooped up there. I think it was on a Sunday night or a Thursday night. I can't remember. And I think that was what was that? Was that a Sunday night? Because I'm trying to remember, the Titans game was a Thursday night in 2021. Remember, that was the game where basically Higbee caught the ball and just handed it to Jimmy Ward. He ran for a touchdown, and they counted it as an interception against Matthew Stafford. And then they played Green Bay in Green Bay, and I think Rasul Douglas had a pick 6 in that one. And then the Rams had a bye, and everyone was saying, oh, it's all over for the Rams. It's all over for the Rams. And then everything came together, and they ended up winning the Super Bowl. So this season is not over, and that's why I wanted the humiliation to be that much greater for this team. They needed to be humiliated. That first half was abysmal. The Rams still haven't played a full game. They haven't. We'll discount week 1. Week 2, they were horrible in the first half, great in the second half against the Titans, great in the first half against Philly, and then horrible in the second half, right? Last week, they were subpar and mediocre the whole game, that it took a Adonai Mitchell nightmare to give them back 2 touchdowns. And they won the game, but they didn't look great last week. And then they came out like bums tonight. Good. They came out like a team that felt like they had it. And maybe this is just the earmark of a team that is still a little bit young and understanding what it needs to do. So they needed to be punched in the nose. They needed to be humiliated. And I hope they are. I hope they are. Best part of the first half, besides, best part of everything's Matthew Stafford. He missed a couple of throws, but he's just getting better and better. But the best part of the first half, they got Terrence Ferguson the ball, made a great catch, and then Terrence disappeared, right? I don't even know if he had any snaps in the second half. Yeah, so that is something to think about. Brain dead games by some veterans. Of course, Kyron Williams drops a pass, not just the fumble at the goal line at the end, but he dropped a pass in the flat there that when he turned it upfield, he might have gotten inside the 10 or even scored, right? So he blows that one. And then Darius Williams with the PI that keeps the 49ers scoring drive alive to start the second half. And then, I don't know, is there anybody? I'm going to ramp up this whole Rams need a corner thing. whether it's Kobe Durant, Darius Williams, Emmanuel Forbes, I don't know who. I saw Wallace out there a little bit. R.C. Owens, Gene Washington, Dwight Clark, Jerry Rice, John Taylor, Terrell Owens, a little bit of Debo, and Kendrick Bourne. Kendrick Bourne? That was humiliating tonight. Good. Let the Rams be embarrassed. Yeah, I thought there was Kirk Herbstreit, not his best night, right? Not his best night. The whole Byron Young should have got roughing the passer. Even was it Pereira? Who did they talk to? What are edge rushers supposed to do? They're supposed to develop wings and fly? Just ridiculous conversation. Also, forward progress. My issue about forward progress on that kick return where they said forward progress was stopped. Okay, but doesn't forward progress get stopped on the tush push before he's being shoved forward again? Yeah. All right. And then finally, when Cardi's PAT was blocked, did you see the camera flash to McVay? McVay looked like he was literally going to commit murder. He looked like he was going to commit murder. All right. We went 10 minutes here. I can't believe you guys actually joined me. I am not going to go deep, guys. I'm only going to go till about 15 minutes. We got a show to do tomorrow. Michael Negretti, hola, Pastor Joe. This team is soft. We need to trade for an O-line. I just think they need to play better. I do think we got a larger problem there with Avila. I'm not real happy about that. If he's healthy enough to get on the field, right? If he's healthy enough to get on the field, why isn't he starting? There's an issue there as far as I'm concerned. DHP, this was so sick. They need to fire the special teams coordinator. I'm done with Kyron Williams fumbling issues. Did you guys hear my opening? My bad. I said he would not have a fumbling issue this year. Up to now, he didn't, and he fumbled at the biggest time in the biggest game at the biggest moment. So you can just light that dude on fire. I don't know if I'm going to get rid of him, but light his butt on fire. And yeah, absolutely. Something needs to go on. 4 blocked kicks. Finally, Cardi actually missed a kick, but 4 blocked kicks. That's just preposterous. Let's see. Forgotten lockout. Kyron took a peanut punch attempt to the helmet on the fumble. Brian Smith, Mac is a statue, and they couldn't touch him with that offensive line. We needed this loss, Brian Smith, especially the fan base. No, Mike, Brian, did you hear my opening? Absolutely. This was the best thing. I kept hoping. I wasn't rooting against Cardi, but the field goal that tied it at the end, I was hoping it would be missed. I was hoping it would be a much worse loss, right? Because I wanted them humiliated, right? DHP, Avila, though, he was a bullfighter playing Olay on the PAT. You saw it too. Good for you, DHP. Forgotten Lone Cow. 2021 Tennessee game was a Sunday night. Okay. Awful game, right? We remember that one. Brian Smith, the Rams could very easily be 1-4. Isn't it funny? They could be 1-4 or 5-0. If they played like mature football players, they could be 5-0. If they played with the attitude of Stafford, they could be 5-0, and they could be easily 1-4 as well. Brian Smith, the only bright spot was Stafford was forced to use all of his wide receivers. I'm surprised the Rams were able to figure out that the San Francisco secondary couldn't cover anybody because they couldn't really, for the most part, lay a glove on Stafford. And that's why the offensive line was not horrible tonight. They didn't allow an inferior pass rush to get to Matthew Stafford. Only once. It looked like it was kind of a blown assignment. It looked like one person thought the other got inside of Alaric Jackson there. So it wasn't terrible, and Stafford picked them apart. Stafford was great, and those were big-time throws he made, big-time throws. Can we lay off Tutu Atwell just a little bit? Yeah, I think maybe we should. Rams 74. This is a wake-up call for McVay's play calling. I didn't like the first play after the Atwell catch that took us downfield in overtime. I thought they should have ran the ball there. But yeah, I didn't like that play. I didn't have a problem with it because the execution was so poor. Corum drops the ball. Kyron's dropping the ball. It just terrible. Just terrible. Brian Smith, Kyron won't wake up until he's on another team. Well, he's got his bread now, so he's off the hook. Okay, guys, we got about 30 seconds here. You got anything else you want to share? We will be live tomorrow, 5 p.m., talking RamView, getting a little more calmed down. But again, it's so funny. I'm known to get really angry here in the Ram Cave, and after a while, I started thinking, no, this might be the best thing that could have happened to this team. It's still a young team. But can I ask you this? When the Rams pull off 6-7 wins in a row, right when everyone's writing them off, can we get Matthew Stafford in the MVP discussion? It's criminal. He's not in the MVP discussion. There you go. Brian Smith, thanks, Pastor Joe. You are more than welcome, sir. I'm sorry I got on late. I was a little bit behind when watching the game, taking care of business. I was working. And then I got Apple TV, and it says Rams driving for final score. It's like I'm about 5 minutes behind. And it's like, shut the blank up, man. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. But, Apple TV feels like they're giving us some info. Okay, guys, it is the 15-minute mark. God bless. Take care. We'll survive. This is a good thing in the end. Rams are going to be okay. Sean McVay might not, or Chase Blackburn.